this is the room that houses most of the signed works from the portrait gallery collection. So as part of the mail art process, Mail-Arta, who is Queen of Post, has put out a mail art call, and she invites artists to send these signed works, and in response she'll send something back. And you'll see in this room many costumes, all part of her attire for the Moss Street paint-in that happens every year here in Victoria in July. And part of the happening is that Mail-Arta tells the world about the world of mail art and artist trading cards. So there's many facets to the Studio J space. And just off to the right there, you see a wall of Kens. More of my crazy collecting. I started out with one at my second studio here. It was just this joke. Someone had left a headless Ken and said, be good or you'll end up in the Naughty Boys Club. And so I ended up, maybe, and then I saw one. I thought, I'll collect that one and put it over there. And then next thing you know, there's 2, 3, 4. Now there's hundreds of them that have come into. So I figure at some point I'll probably do some sort of installation where I use these pieces. I had an idea that it would be great to see them all swimming in the ocean together. I don't know if I'll do that, but at some point I thought maybe it might be an interesting idea. I always have too many ideas.
That's great. Lots of ideas, lots of work. Huh?
Yes.
Different.
So in the room next door here we have I'll take you in. This is part of an ongoing series called the Distort series. These are part of that process I was talking about earlier where works are formed, very free-form, organic, without any preconceived idea. And I worked on a grouping of 10 for an initial show, and it hasn't stopped since that show back in 2002. So I've been continually working on these. At this point I have 142.
So are you going to stop in a number, or you going
No,
to
at this
it
point
depends.
I expect, when I started I thought, 25 would be it. And then 50 was a good number, and then 75, and then I thought, I had to go to 100. So once I got to 100, it just kept going. I had 111 for one show, and then, so at this point I figure maybe 200, and I'll see what happens. But part of the process for me is that exploration that it's incredible that I can take a crochet hook and a material, crochet cotton, or there was a certain point along the way in the process where I would just take a found object, like this piece here. There is a mixer beater from a hand mixer inside. And so that armature gives some structure to the free form that would evolve. So that idea that I want to see how far can I go before I just have exhausted this possibility. So at this point with 142 there seems to be no end of ideas and materials. And each one of these all were given the parameter of fitting within a shoebox dimension. So each one of them still fit within that certain dimension, and all have crocheted stitching within the form.
So I guess once you have a full exhibition of all these pieces, you will have to rent a full gallery or
It's
big room.
Yes, and now I've shown these in various forms, and at this point, one of my favorite ways to exhibit them is to have them floating out in space by using a twine to hang them so that they're free floating in space with just the twine holding them. So they spin around and there's motion, and you can walk around them and in through them. So with that exhibition, there were a lot of comments how people felt they were walking through an undersea garden. It brings up many possibilities for people in relationship to what their connection is to a certain form.
Do you think you will have an exhibition soon about all of them together again?
I am. This is the year that I have set aside to say, yes, I am going to do a series of gallery proposals. I've been working pretty well non-stop on doing a grouping of shows. I had a solo exhibition of this work in December, and then the mail art exhibition happened in January, and I've been doing group shows for the last few months, and now I'm getting ready for another one that opens on Friday. May works show up in Parksville, and at this point, who knows where the next show will be.